Good morning everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. It is bright and early on another, almost sunny, trying to be sunny, Sunday morning, and I'm just about to head out for a run with my trusty steed, this one, Tia. She just started waggling her tail when I said her name. Hey baby. Are you excited to go out on a run? I think she's trying to learn English. Those head tilts are just so cute. This will be one of our longest runs that we've done together, and I'm heading out with a few people who also have their own dogs, including her best bud, whose name I'm not going to say because she's managed to learn it. And we're going to be doing 9 miles this morning. So this is the last full week of training for my 10K time trial / race. I'm really... I'll tell you more about it as we're going around the run, but just I kind of messed up a little bit, so I'm even more nervous than I was before, which was already still quite nervous. But yeah, we're going out this morning for a 9-mile steady plod, going to be very steady, with the dogs, partly canicross, partly off-lead, and just heading out to have fun, which will bring me up to 50-something kilometers for the week, which I'm always happy with, and that will be my 3rd or 4th consecutive week of sort of full mileage, and that's without even doing really long Sunday runs, so I'm really happy with that. So then hopefully when I start pivoting to longer distances, longer races, back to my ultras, which I can't wait for, I'm really excited for that, I could just stick a long run on the end of the week and we'll be up into the 60s, 65, like that kind of stuff, which I've never done before consistently, so that will be a big deal for me. But in the meantime, heading out for the run now, and I will see you out there. Puppies!
Just racing.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be tough on the quads. Tia! Whoa.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ruby. So we finally started the run. Tia has this habit of pushing to the front. She has no idea where we're going, and so we always go the wrong way. Go on then. But it's great, she's having so much fun. We only started this like properly really recently, where we actually did a proper canicross run with a group, and she seemed to get really hyped up with it and absolutely loves it, so that's really nice to see. And the sun has finally come out, which is lovely. We've only just set off and it's been a steep downhill so far. This is the group. Looking very happy, and we do a mix of on-lead and off-lead. With Tia it's more on-lead because she chases livestock, so if there are any cattle or sheep, she's on the lead. Wish I could always have a dog to pull me up the hill. She loves it. This will make her cross-country runs, trail runs a lot easier. Except the problem is, quite often by the time we get to the second half of the run, I'm dragging her around, which when you're dragging 25 kilos, you can really feel it. Oh my God, look how beautiful. Wow. Hey puppies! Look at that! Beautiful!
a bit of a mud fest. There's this thing called Sodbury Slog that happens in Bristol every year, and I used to think, oh, this is what the really good runners do, but essentially what it is mud, and a lot of it. Do we go straight up? Straight up? Oh, right. Look though, this is our version of the slog. Oh my god. It's also a lot harder when attached to a dog. So yeah, I don't mind mud usually, but when you're attached to a dog, it suddenly becomes a lot more treacherous, and we're still learning a lot, the two of us, like how to not die when she suddenly sees a deer or a sheep or another dog running past her or whatever. So it's all a very big learning experience, but we're both having a lot of fun, which I think is the important bit. Like, I was so worried that she was going to hate it, and she obviously adores it. She gets so excited when I bring the harness out now, and lifts her legs into it as well, so you know that she loves it, which is great. And no better day than a day like today. Look, it's a reservoir over there. Whew. Oh god. This is definitely the downside to running with a dog. Usually I go up to the cows and stroke them and say hi, but with a dog, run away, run away. Nice when I don't want to really go ham out and about, because they're obviously very stop-starty, mainly because we spend a lot of time warding off livestock or putting the dogs back on leads or walking through mud that we'd usually run through so that we don't get splat on our ass. So yeah, it's nice and easy, and like, although sometimes you run quite fast, you do spend a lot of time stopping and regrouping and all that kind of stuff. So it's one of the reasons I wanted to learn to run with a dog, is so that I could have an easy run out and about while she still gets some really good exercise, because she's obviously pulling me along a bit, which really helps. So part of the route that we've been doing, if you guys remember last January, I did Green Boy, which is like a loop around Bristol basically. For me it's 50k-ish, 48k, and that goes north of Bristol, but the summer version comes on a lot of the route that we've just done, which is significantly nicer. So I will be doing it again in summer, probably as a training run for some other stuff. They've got like a full version. How long's the full version? 45 miles, and the Green Boy quote unquote is 30 miles. Roughly. One of them I think is much nicer than the other, because you get all the beautiful trails and hills and stuff, but the Green Boy, the one that I did, is very flat, quite roady. Definitely wasn't my favourite, but it is quite fast, so it definitely has that going for it. Lots of bike paths and suburbia, really. But yeah, this is part of the other one, which is much nicer and also much muddier. Another reason our runs take so long: rivers, lakes, you've got to go through all of them. It is like 18 degrees today, so I don't mind all of this, but imagine coming down here in like the deepest, darkest depths of winter. That'd be pretty miserable. Look at them together, they're so cute. Ruby, Tia, come on, onwards. Good girl. Oh, she lifts her leg. Hey, doggo intro.
Oh, stuck in a bramble now.
Oh,
Hey, that's right.
just in the last few miles now, just running a route that we've done before, which is really nice because it means that I know that there aren't any sheep and I can let the dog off. Running wise, I feel pretty good. Obviously we've been going much slower than I would do if I was just doing it as a run, but that really is kind of the whole point in this, is like, let the dogs have fun, don't overdo it. Make sure that by the end of the run they want to keep going, so the next time you do it they're always happy to start again and they're always wanting more. And I think probably same goes for people, you know, when people first start running. When I first started running, I was like, must do as much as possible as soon as possible, and so I ran really fast, completely like gunned it every time I went on a run, like as fast as I could, and I hated it. I absolutely hated it. So I think there's something to be said for running kind of stop-starty, walk run, and making sure that you finish wanting more, because then you're always going to love it. Happy dogs, happy people. We're all in a very good tired mood, which is exactly how you want to end the run. 14k done, just doing the last little bit, and then we're back. Whew, what a day. Look how beautiful. Can you see that light? So cool. Ready, T? Where's Ruby? Go get her. Go get her. Good girl. Up we go.
Run done! Oh, it was such a great run, such a brilliant morning out, and although, as I say every single time, I'm not really the most early morning person, but getting up nice and early this morning and heading out, even though it was a Sunday, was ideal. Such a beautiful day today, and the dogs loved it as well, which is obviously the most important thing. She is here, lying in the sun, sunbathing. You look knackered, T. Are you tired? I think she's tired. That brings me to, I don't know, around high 50s, 60 kilometers for this week, which is my biggest week in a very long time. I also find it really interesting, I don't know if you guys have found this, when you train for a 5k or a 10k, for some reason you expect the mileage to be a lot less than if you're training for like a 50k, but from my experience and my training plans, pretty much I've never gone over consistent weeks of like mid-50s, with the occasional week of, you know, 60 here and there and some much higher weeks individually, but never consistent mileage above like 55 kilometers. I find it really interesting that no matter how far you're going, the kind of mileage for your trainings tends to be kind of the same, even though I guess you're doing different types of runs. And maybe that's not true. I guess obviously if you're doing much longer ultras, like 100 milers, and you need to spend a lot more time running than I currently do. But I find it quite interesting that for 50Ks, it's kind of the same as for 5Ks. So pivoting from this to doing ultra training should be relatively straightforward because it's not a massive increase in weekly mileage, which is kind of my goal. Get fast on the road and then switch to doing slightly longer stuff at the weekends, but obviously then fewer like speedy interval sessions. So I might just do 1 a week rather than 2 a week, for example. But I don't know yet. I've got a couple of races in the diary for next year already, but between now and then I've got to figure out like what sort of stuff that I want to do and what I want to focus on, and I haven't quite figured that out yet. The race that I'm doing next weekend is in Battersea in London. It is 4 times, I think it's 4 times around the park, and I was just going to do it as a time trial, but I think I mentioned I just can't bring myself to do like how many 12, 13, 14 laps around Hengrove near where I live. There's also the risk, because it's being built on soon, there's also the risk that it will just be shut on the day that I want to go and do my time trial, which would be really annoying because there's nowhere else flat in Bristol that doesn't also have huge amounts of either people or cars or bikes. So I am going all the way to London to do this race, and fingers crossed it goes well. I am very stressed because obviously when it's a time trial you can just do that whenever you like, but when it's a race I feel like there's a lot more pressure to make the most of being there and of travelling to London and paying for entry and all that kind of stuff. So I have
goals, and I have put quite a lot of pressure on myself to do well. Obviously my 10k PB, I think I mentioned before, is 43:40. If I am going to be racing it, I definitely want to be getting closer to the 42 mark. In reality, realistically, I think we're probably looking at somewhere between 42 and 43, which I will be happy with. A PB is a PB and you can't argue with that, and so I will be very pleased if I get a personal best either way. And even if I don't, doing all this training is a great base for all of the future runs and races that I'm going to be doing, and there is plenty more time, so it is what it is. And I've got to keep telling myself this because I put in so much pressure onto myself to do well in road races, and it's the main reason why I don't do so many of them anymore, because they make me feel quite sick. I'm excited and I'm ready to give it a go, and the last 3-4 weeks of training have gone really well, so I'm just going to do what I can and see what happens. So that will be my next vlog. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy it, please do give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. I'm hoping to do a canicross specific video with some experts coming up, because I know a lot of people who have dogs want to start running with them, and for a dog that runs off everywhere, it's really useful to have taught her to stay on the lead and run just in front of me, because it means that it's not a miserable run for both of us if she has to stay on the lead. And mostly she's really good off lead at coming back, but when there are cattle, or actually cattle she's fine with, but sheep and deers and rabbits and all that kind of stuff, you just can't trust her. So it's a real godsend to be able to keep her on the lead, and I know a lot of you guys want to know more information about that. So I am doing a video with a canicross expert after my 10k race, and hopefully that will come out soon and might help some of you guys. That is it for this week. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!